Hey guys, Bo from Precision Farming. Just going to do a quick scope mounting video. Guys have been asking me how I do it. Now keep in mind, this is just again how I do it. There's probably millions of ways to do it. I've spent a lot of time over the years swapping scopes backwards and forwards, and I think I've got it down pat, but this is just me. So, going to use the Porter Machine Works mounts, the 7mm canted mount to mount the Nightforce NX8 to one of the M3s. So, Porter Machine Works, very good. Now, what we're going to use is I use a lot of wheeler gear. So, one thing you can never have enough is of the little bubble levels. So, I use all wheeler gear. It's good stuff. Keep in mind, not a sponsored video. This is just stuff I used. I've bought over the years. You can never have too many bubbles. So, I just like to get the rifle close to level. Now I've got one of the air marksman rails on the M3. These things are precision, spot on bits of gear, so use that, get it reasonably level, just so you're starting from a level base. Now, for the love of optics, please always use a torque wrench when you are doing up any screws, nuts, bolts, whatever. The amount of optics I've seen on rifles where you can actually feel the bubble in the tube because blokes have just cranked them down. I never go any more than 18 inch-pounds, even on the 338 Lapua. The rings on that are 18 inch-pounds. Never had a problem with scopes moving, and I don't have a problem with tubes being crushed. So yeah, get yourself a good torque wrench, and like I said, 18 inch-pounds. Now, one thing I really like about the guys from Porter Machine Works, open this up, they will actually send you torque specs. Is it going to read for you? It's a bit blurry. Sorry, I got it on mirror. But anyway, they'll give you the correct torque specs for all their heads, and because they're legends, they'll actually send you out the correct torque driver bit you need. So, and extra screws. There's two mounts I use. I use Spur and I use Porter Machine Works. The only reason I will go a Spur over a Porter Machine Works is just for the QD base. But other than that, cannot find a bad word to say about Porter Machine Works. They are spot on, really well made, crisp, nice anodizing, and just, you know exactly what you're going to get. It's going to do exactly what it's meant to do. Really happy with these. So I use them on a lot of the rifles. So I get those out of there. They come in a nice, well protected box during shipping, so you're not going to knock all the paint off it. So, torque specs for the side clamp screws are 40 inch-pound. So, crank this up to 40 inch-pound. I know I should come to the 21st century and get a digital one, but this one's worked for, geez, nearly 20 years now. So rightio, 40 inch-pound. I'll just open this up without the screws going everywhere if I can. Yeah, good tough plastic. Where's my knife? Get it open properly, stop mucking around. Alright. So, get these out of there. Tip those into there. So just use your Torx bit. Wind these out. Without dropping it. You should have a bit of an idea where on your rifle you want to sit your mount. Now, with the M3 being such a long rail, you've got quite a lot of option there. I like to have it a bit further back, so you put that on the back where it's going to sit, flush. Just give that a quick nip up. Sorry, I just got the YouTube music playing in the background. I always like to have a bit of tunes on when I'm playing. So these are really well beveled. There's no sharp edges on them anywhere. You never have to worry that they're going to scratch your scopes. And you never have to worry about lapping. They're spot on, like they really are precision mounts. So thank you, Ian. Keep up the good work. Love your stuff, mate. So we'll nip that up to 40-inch pounds. Click. Okay. Next step. So one of the things I really like about the wheeler leveling kit, so you've got two bubbles in there. So you use this one, sit that across the top of your mount there like so. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend doing it across the mount, but like I said, we're using Air Marksman rail, which is a really precision rail, and Porter Machine Works, which are 100% spot on. Be really careful doing it across the top of the ring like this, because if your rifle hasn't got a great rail setup or whatever, you can actually, and I've got videos I've put up before, you'll find difference across the two rings. Like one will be sitting perfectly flat and the other one will be slightly canted because the rail actually rolls across the top of the action. Always check with bubble levels and always use good gear. And if you're not sure about anything, send it off to a smith, get them to true it, because these guys are brilliant. Now with the barrel clamp, so basically what you do, you move your gun a little bit. So that bubble's there. I must have knocked it a fair bit when I was putting the scope on, putting the rail on, sorry. So basically you get that, so the bubble's spot on in the middle there. Check it, check it, check it. Alright, then what you do, wind this out because it's got a, see how we go with this. The shroud's a fat one on this one. So then you put this up here. Come on, there we go. So you nip that up fairly tight. And what you do is you true this bubble level to that bubble level. So we wind that. Slash is probably the greatest guitarist that ever lived. Fight me if you dare. But anyway, nah, everyone's got their different flavours, but it's pretty hard to beat Slash. So I'm just going to pick the camera up and show you what I've done here. So, bubble in the centre. Oh, I can't get the focus there. There we go, bubble in the centre. So I'll put that back on there. Right, take that one off. Get your lovely precision nightforce scope or whatever you're going to put on out of the box. Whack it in there. So, yeah, rightio. These are going to have to come off. They're a little bit low. Plus, I am going to be running the thermal interface, so they don't match up all that well. Now I've gone with these, which are the Nightforce NX8 2.5 to 20 by 50 with the Tremor 3, of course. Everything's Tremor 3. Tremor 3 rules the world. So it's a fairly compact scope. Brilliant Nightforce optics, tough as nails. You could beat in a bloody fence post with it and still shoot. Okay, so put it roughly where you want it. Now my face on this sits back here. You want 3 inches between your eye and the back of the eyepiece for a rough guesstimate. So, using that front bubble level, what we do is we get our 2 lots of rings out. The top of the ring pieces, sorry. Terminology is not real great. I know what I mean in my head. You guys will just have to catch up. Now, again, so really good these are. They're 4 screw mounting. So I just generally nip those in a little bit. I put this one just so you can see the gap closing up on the other side. Again, a little bit of OCD kicking in here, but I like to make sure that the gap in the rings is even. Not evil. You haven't got too much on one side, one on the other. Nip down. And you can just stick your finger in the edge and you can actually feel when it's starting to move. Went a little bit too far on that one. There we go. I go diagonally with the screws, and you'll find that that should be enough once you nip those up a little bit, just to put a bit of tension on the scope and make it firm. Like, you can still move it, but it's not going to roll too easily. So I just put 2 in the back, 2 in the front, and like I said, only just finger tight to start with. Alright. Right, so that's got a little bit of bite. The scope, you got to put it, you know, you've actually got to put a bit of force, not force, but it's firm to move. It's not going to move by itself. So you get your, better put the bloody thing, bubble level back. Oh, it's in the front here. Sit that across the top of your optics. Look at that, that's nearly spot on, lucky there. I've always said it's better to be lucky than good. And then what you do is you roll the rotate the optic around until this bubble matches that bubble, and then you're back to your original level. So that way, when you're looking through your rifle, your optic isn't going to be canted, or sorry, your optic crosshairs aren't going to be canted to the true line of your bore. Again, like I said, guys, my terminology is probably not the most professional. I don't know all the correct terms, but what I do works for me. So, right, that's pretty much spot on. So now we refer back to our little Porter Machine Works, and the ring cap screws are 17 to 25 inch pounds. Like I said, I go to 18. So wind that back to 18 inch pounds. Now, I know that hasn't clicked, I'm just trying to get it done up evenly, because I have noticed sometimes you crank one side of the screws down and it'll actually roll the optic slightly, and that just drives me mental. So we're getting even, bubble still perfectly in the center. Quick, there we go, so there's 18 inch pounds, there's 18 inch pounds. Right, like your other 4 screws in. And Porter Machine Works, being the legends that they are, probably for that exact reason, give you 2 extra screws. Some days I'm all thumbs. Good thing about the torque wrench, you know exactly when you hit your right poundage. You hear the click. Click. There we go. There we go, guys. Scope's mounted. Bubbles lined up perfectly level. You're ready to go shoot stuff. So I'll take that out and zero it and see how we go with everything. Right, guys, you have a crack a day. See ya.